Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
And welcome to the show, guys. This is the How Did They Grow podcast. And today we have on Ethan Mortensen. Ethan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, everybody? So obviously my name's Ethan Mortensen. I am a multi-million-dollar barbershop owner, content creator, and educational coach for business and lifestyle. And I'm just excited to meet all of you today and hopefully give you some information that'll help you on your own journey.
Definitely, brother. Definitely, brother. That's why we do this thing. That's why we do this thing, is to help people, because we have a lot of people in our quote-unquote community who are sub 10K, and their big goal for a lot of people is, even before they break that mark, is to get to that 10K mark. So that's the goal. Like, if we can't work with them, in our high-end services, let's just give as much value to them. So I really appreciate you pointing that out. So kind of break down you, man. You said you have a barbershop. Are you a barber yourself, or you have a barbershop?
So at 19, I became a barbering apprentice, and
Okay.
I started by sweeping floors and answering phones and learning to cut hair. And my fellow barbers were really high on using Instagram. So
Okay.
they wanted us to be on it. And back then it was only pictures. There wasn't stories, there wasn't reels, there wasn't any of that. You could post a picture and a caption and that was it. And then a few years later, they released video, like I think a year or two later after I started. And what that unlocked for me was being able to reach an audience of people fast, because to get your product out there, you have to be able to get as many people seeing what you do, what you provide, and the service or product you're trying to give to them. The more eyes you see, the more people that will align with your interests, and the more chances you have to sell.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, bro. You know the old saying, if you can have the best product in the world, but if nobody sees it, if you keep it locked up at home, no one's gonna buy.
Exactly. And so yeah, I started as a barber. Now I don't cut hair. I have
Amazing.
to run my businesses, come up with content strategies. I do coaching seminars, like speeches. I teach at schools for hair. I teach at colleges for business. So not as much cutting hair anymore.
Amazing, bro. Amazing, bro. I love the fact that you started with that and you kind of evolved. You didn't kind of, not to say anything's wrong, but you didn't just use that as a launch pad to get into something else. You saw, okay, I love this. This is what brought me up. Let me build my own stuff and kind of elevate.
Absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. So you said you are also a content creator and an educator.
Yes.
How does that work?
So I basically use the knowledge and experience I have from traveling the world, but educating. Basically, when I finally got good at cutting hair, I got sponsored by a hair brand, and they have like national educators that they fly around the country with specific brands to teach people how to cut hair. So that really helped me learn how to use my social media to target people in specific cities and like book those classes. And then it also really improved my public speaking skills. That's kind of why I am less shy to do things like this today, is I'm so used to just talking to people and trying to give them value of the knowledge I've gained from everybody else that it doesn't really make me uncomfortable. And my whole goal with the people I help is to walk them through the series of steps and teach them that these steps will work, but the discipline of these steps is what makes you great. It's not, there's no magic carpet that's going to take you to the top instantly. So.
Kind of break that down. You said the steps will get you there, but it's the discipline of the steps. Is that what you said?
Yes. So when you're working on a project, whether it be to market it or to use your social media to get something done, you actually have to create a storyline of what's happening. And for a lot of people, the easiest way is to just post their daily life or what's going on in it every day. But maintaining the discipline to create the storyline of your brand and to create that brand value and loyalty is what will actually help you achieve your goal of converting sales from your Instagrams, TikToks, Snapchats, whatever social media platform you're using, to actually be able to convert them into followers, clients, and paying purchases at the end of the funnel.
Definitely. It's that people buy from the story, right? Because everyone's doing, let's just give it an example. Everyone cuts hair. Not everyone, but like there's so many barbershops, right? Why are people going to come to you? And obviously your service has to be top notch, but like it gets to a point where they're good people at the top. Why are they going to choose you? Because they mess with you. They mess with your vibe. They like you. They know you. They trust you. And you have a great story as well on top of that.
Exactly. And it allows them to have something to hold on to and feel like they're actually a part of your journey, instead of just once a week posting that you have availability or that you have a sale going, like posting the journey of how that sale actually happened. Like, did you draw out the plans for your t-shirts? Did you draw all the designs on your t-shirts? Did you have to speak to a manufacturer to get them here? Those are the things people care about. So when you do ask for a sell, they're more likely to purchase.
Amazing. So let me kind of ask you then, what does your social media look like? What does that look like?
My personal social media is a lot of lifestyle content and quotes, and then me trying to provide educational knowledge to people of what's going on for me at that moment. And then occasionally I'll make a post stating, hey, if you would like to join my education course, you can click the link in my bio. But I would honestly say 10% of my posts are about sales, and the rest is about telling the story of my life.
Amazing. And you've seen that work perfectly, right?
Yeah, because I'm not even like on my following count. My following count isn't in the hundreds of thousands. So I went through over the past 2 years and just got rid of all my ghost followers, got rid of all the bots. And so right now I'm sitting at like 5-6K followers, but my conversion rate on those followers is extremely high. And the new algorithm, where I'm averaging on my personal page 50,000 views a month, and then on my business pages, I have 5 business pages, and they're all getting 60 to 100,000 interactions a month. And what really matters is at the bottom of your insights, especially on Instagram, it'll show you when you go to your views, scroll to the bottom, and there'll be link clicks. And your link clicks are the most important part, because if people are clicking a link to go buy, that means that you've converted them from a cold client into a hot client that actually wants to purchase or at least see what you're about. So yeah, that's what's been working for me heavily, is storyline and staying in my niche.
Amazing, bro. And to get like 50,000 views a month, that's insane. How many times are you posting?
So on my personal page, I'm posting about 6 times a month, not that much. But on the brand pages, we're actually posting a minimum of 20 times a month. And sometimes we post up to 90 times a month. And we're trying to get even higher, because we've kind of found like a secret sauce where we started off by posting like 3 times a day, every day. And then at the end of a 60-day period, we funneled those down to our top performing ones. And then we recreated those videos into converting content. So
amazing, bro.
Yeah,
you said something, and now?
So now we're recreating different versions of that quality content. So we dipped a little bit in how many videos we're doing, and we're trying to catch back up with our content team to progress that forward.
Definitely. You know, with social media, as much as you can plan and do the research, similar to what we do with our clients, as much as you can plan and do the research and try to find what works and, you know, hone in on who your ideal client is, at the end of the day, you can do all that, but you're still going to have to test. And that's the importance. You test, you put out quantity with quality. You test, you see what's working. What's not working, you throw it away. And what's working, you double down on it.
Absolutely. And then you learn along the way, right? And so for us, that's kind of what we've been doing that's been working for us. I pulled our stats over the last 3 months. We have 6,000 people to our website in like a 3-month period for our barbershops specifically. So this is a brick and mortar location. 6,000 people, 3,000 were Google, but 2,800 were from social media. So
amazing. I'm not conversant with, KPIs and all that in terms of where you tracked, in terms of where you want to be, but I'm sure that's a really good number, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting half from social media, that's pretty good. I'm not saying you should shoot for half, you should shoot for under, you should shoot for higher, whatever works for you and your brand, you should definitely do. But I would just say for us, it's a sign that our social media is actually converting to our website. So
yeah,
creating content's working for us. It's something we like to put money into for sure.
Amazing, bro. And the thing about social media, man, it gets to a point, like, I'm sure for you, the thing that's able to take you to the point where you are is probably the team you have behind you.
Yes, absolutely. It started off just me and my business partner. And the hardest part is you're trying to post every day, right? Like you're trying to create the content the day of, and a lot of people fall off that way. So what we started doing is we started planning shoot days and having scripts, and that's something that you guys help your clients with actually, is like, here's your blueprint. You can get this much content done in this many hours, and then you have content for 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. And once you start actually being able to schedule your future of your posts is when you actually unlock the potential of your algorithm, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, because we deal with a lot of, coaches and consultants. So it's like those people, they don't even give a bleep about social media. They don't care. All they want is, am I getting clients? How is this going to translate into me getting leads? So for us, we're doing the most as possible to make them go viral, but that's not what they care about, right? The virality is a vanity metric. What they care about is how many people are converting, and we're able to do that with the research that we're doing in terms of their ICP and all that, and that's how we keep them. It's not because we're making them go viral. That's just a side effect of the quantity of content we're putting out.
Exactly, and the quality and
yeah,
the fact that you've learned that these actually convert on the back end, because if it's not 1 million views doesn't mean. So I had a kid ask me the other day, I have 2 posts that have over 1 million views. What should I do? And I was like, you shouldn't have gotten 1 million views yet because you don't have a website in your Instagram bio. Like, it's the point of 1 million views. Like, if you didn't convert them into anything, did they follow? No. Did they buy anything? No. Then what? 1 million views doesn't even mean anything until you can actually convert them to further down your funnel. Your funnel could be away free things. You don't have to make a sale, but you have to gather the information,
Definitely.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
And let me just put this out, like on my personal brand, when I'm doing something else on TikTok, that's what I did. I know I don't have a product right now, but I'm not going to start making content if I don't have a place where I'm taking people to. So as soon as I started doing that, I made a free Telegram group where I'm just going to be giving free value. I'm not trying to sell anything right now, but like, I'm not going to waste this reach. I'm going to take them somewhere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. One, and you're building a community of people that you've helped for so long. So when you ask for help, you have a higher chance of getting help back, right?
Exactly. So I feel like you're like me in the sense that you're a social media freak. You just like to like crunch the numbers and kind of get into the, what's it called? The little what's the word, man?
I like data for sure. I know that.
Definitely. I love data. I'm a data cruncher. Because without data, you don't grow. If you don't have data, you can't track anything. You don't know what's going wrong. You don't know what you should change.
No, and that doesn't mean get too hyper focused on the data. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, people feel that. But if you are passionate, start focusing on the data. Because if you're in love with what you do and like you're spreading like something good and positive, Don't be scared to look at the data and try and make it better.
Amazing. Let's kind of talk technical, because I love when I'm speaking to people who are, in that same kind of level of headspace. What is something you've noticed over the past few months with your content? Something maybe good or bad. What's shifting?
I've noticed that we have to shift what we're doing about every 3 months. Because if we get too repetitive in one thing over a 3-month period, it kind of burns itself out.
Yeah.
So right now, the storyline of the day is really it's kind of like that morning routine with the water, like that type of content, because it took the internet by force. Like, you need to start thinking of your own ways. And if you're watching this 3 months from now, start paying attention to the current trend. It doesn't mean you have to copy it. It means you have to understand what people are looking at. So people are looking at how this person goes through their day, and there's some funny moments, there's some serious moments, and
there's some fake moments.
There's some fake moments, right? And so what you have to understand is he built that over the course of months, and that post.
Yeah, I've been watching him. I've been seeing him for a long time before it popped off.
Right. And so one thing is, consistency and storyline will always win. But over the past 3 months, I've been seeing a huge change, especially in Instagram, and like the way the analytics are shifting towards different types of content. So like stories this past week have been a little bit higher on views for us, which is just weird. Like, because there wasn't like a story update or anything that I'm aware of. But paying attention to, like, if Instagram releases a new feature, you better use it. If it's a new sticker, you better figure out how to put it into your content. If they come out with a new version of remixes, do the new version of remixes and make it your own. It doesn't mean copy everybody. It means take what they're giving you and the tool that you can use and make it your own. And that's really what we've been focusing on in the past 3 months.
Definitely, bro. Because like, they put it out for a reason. You know what I mean? They put it out for you to use it. They put it out to test it. So if they're testing it, then you better hop on that train, because they're definitely going to push it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Amazing. Let's kind of give some more value to our audience. We're speaking about team and everything, right?
Yes.
Because like, what we do in our company is like, we build a team for you. We don't outsource teams. We build a team for you, and we have one person manage that team, and you're in contact with that person. What would you say is kind of like the necessary stuff you need in a team? Like, what's on your team, and what would you say is like, I don't know if you're kind of getting the question.
Yeah, I would honestly say my team's almost a little under, like, it's not as in depth as I would personally like it. So I think you need someone who's in charge of vision, right? The dreamer, who can come up with ideas, the strategist, and they understand like how to create something that will have a storyline or give impact to people, and they can come up with new ideas fast. Then you need someone, which I kind of act as a lot of these people on my team, but then you need someone who can like create a strategy that's simple enough for other people to follow. Then you're going to need someone who can edit, and then you're going to need someone who can do graphics. And editing and graphics are kind of the same, but they're not. Then you need
so you need different experts.
Yeah, and then you need someone who can take all of your content and determine like, okay, so this video matches with this picture, so we can post this picture and this video as 2 different types of content. And then I can go and I can take the past 10 pieces of content and repurpose it. And so then there's the scheduler, right? Like the person in charge of the schedule and sitting down and actually inputting these into these platforms and scheduling them out for the month.
Manager.
Yeah, the person just in charge of doing the tedious part. Like, you guys made all the content, so now I got to sit at a computer and batch upload this or figure out how to, because there's that's another thing I noticed over the past 3 months actually is certain things you can't use on desktop. Like on desktop, when you're uploading your content, you can't add music the same way, right?
On
like,
what? You use Instagram?
And Facebook?
Or Facebook? Or the Meta Business Suite? Which one do you use?
I use both because I have to.
You can't add on Facebook?
It'll add, but you can't change the volume.
Oh yeah, definitely. That makes sense. Yeah.
So like because one of the strategies we use is we peg every post to a trending audio, even if we're not going to use it. So
Yeah,
because
just
that
drop it, right?
yeah. So if you're doing that on desktop, you need someone who can sit and schedule these posts off their phone, and then some of these posts need to be made off desktop because there's other features that
Yes.
work better. So like that's something I've noticed too, and is super important. Is like you can make all the content, but if you never post it and and schedule it out, like you might forget a day, and then your momentum kind of just slowly drops each day you miss.
Yeah. What else? Because I'm kind of taking in all this data.
Yeah. Another thing that I've noticed is like someone who can actually go through and be honest with your team about like, okay, we put a bunch of effort into this video, but it just sucks.
I think that's the algorithms, bro.
Yeah, no, but then everybody, instead of like complaining about the views and the interaction, right? Like, okay, so was it the video, or did we mess up the hook? Did we not dial in this video properly? Should we repost it in a different way? There's definitely always someone who needs to be able to like think in those types of systems to not waste your content, you know?
Definitely. I would say like what you're describing sounds a lot like what we do, because we have similar roles in terms of we have like 5 people with kind of those roles, but we can talk about that. But I'm saying like, yeah, definitely. A lot of these roles, we have a lot of people, a lot of the time, there's a lot of multitasking going on. We spoke about that. You know, the editor is going to multitask as the graphic designer, the strategist who is supposed to be purely focused on strategy and ideation and all that is going to multitask as the social media manager. And, you know, that can really take a toll. But I mean, on one hand, you got to work with what you have. On the other hand, it's like, where are you trying to go? What's the big vision, right? Because that can only go so far.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why I say even me, I would still like, I have a few people, but I would still almost say I'm a little undermanned because like I should be focusing on vision and like paying attention to what we should be doing as an owner. And I've just educated myself on this stuff so much that I'm still growing right? I'm just growing my team to be able to keep up. So sometimes I have to take those things on, and that's where a service like your guys's really might actually help. Is like if you don't know every little detail about like TikTok or Instagram, like if you don't know you can put a location sticker and hide it off the screen,
especially because you're brick and mortar, exactly. Yeah,
you probably shouldn't be the one running your Instagram. Like, not in a bad way, but like, do you physically have the bandwidth and the time to learn the technology? If you're more worried about making money, then you should probably hire someone to make you more money off of that so you can close your deals.
Right? But if you're worried about keeping your money, then just go ahead, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, try and thug it out and do all the research, because it's possible. I did it, but
it's possible. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Anyone can do it. All it takes, it's gonna take you time. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna fail. You're probably gonna want to quit. But you can definitely do it. That's one thing I see to a lot of people. Because me myself, I learned all this stuff on my own. From what? From actually putting out content, actually learning, actually being in the trenches, having you put tens of hours into a video and it's like 200 views, and you're like, why? You go to the back end, you see what's going on, the beat, the hook. Because sometimes you make a video, you think it's cool, but you watch it back and it's like, man, that hook sucks. You know what I mean?
A week later, you're like, wait, if I just cut this and I flip that to the back, it'll do better. Then you do it, and it's like, phew, and you're like, oh. But like that takes a lot of time and effort when you're like, say you're a plumber, like you're trying to focus on plumbing, like but you can learn these things and like grow your team under you to do the plumbing, and then eventually you can hire someone to do these things for you, because everybody's dream is passive income, and I totally understand.
Bro.
But actually, passive income is front-loaded effort. So all passive income comes from effort that was put in before the income started that pays off over a long period of time. And so whether it's you're going to hire a content team and go through the next 6 months and you're going to create a bunch of content, you're going to trust someone with your brand and you're going to build it, or you build it yourself, which is, all these things are possible. It's all front loaded. So like if you look up the graph of success, it's all effort, and then it planes out with money at the end. So don't get discouraged if you make a post and it gets 200 views. Get discouraged if you make a post, it gets 200 views, and it makes you not post the next day or the next hour, because you just need reps, and your brand needs reps. I tell people a lot, like, fill a room with 200 people and look around.
And look around, see if you'll be able to speak.
Because you just spoke to 200 people. So if you post 1,000 times in a year, that's 200,000 people that know you now.
Definitely. 200,000 touch points. And you know the study that Google did, I don't know if you're familiar, you should be familiar with that, about 7 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a super interesting study too, because it's a lot, like, I don't even know how to describe it very well for most people, but like, in my own words, if you can touch someone 10 times and you can put in a certain amount of effort, just statistically, it's going to work for you. Like,
it's just going to work.
That's why people think it's luck, because it pops up after. Like, they didn't see all that, but it pops up after, and they're like, I have people tell me all the time, like, you're just really smart. It's like, no, I just really studied.
I studied, bro. You know what I mean? I studied. I've been in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's one thing that I really like about what you guys have going here for these people, for all of you that are sitting here today, is like, even if you only learned one thing from me today, if you watch all these videos, you're going to learn hopefully thousands of things that just each day you implement a new thing, and it gets easier. Because when I started my career, I noticed something. It feels stressful, and then you think the stress goes away, but you just adapted to the stress and you're used to it. So then you add more stressful things, and now people around me are like, how are you not stressed out all the time? And it's like, because I'm used to it. I love it. Like, I'm not stressed. But when you're learning something new, when you're learning something new, it's supposed to feel stressful. And then you have to keep chasing a little bit of that stress. You don't want to stress yourself out to an unhealthy level, but like, you'll notice, like, oh, this is tedious. Like, tedious feels stressful, but tedious becomes habit, and then habit becomes success.
Definitely. I love that. Let's kind of get to the end of this. Let me kind of ask you, man. We've spoken a lot. I didn't quite get clear. What is the goal for your social media? Because, like, is it, you have your personal page and you have your business pages. I assume the barbershop page is to get people to come to the barbershop. But for you, it's for your coaching business, right?
Yes. So my goal with my personal social media is to basically build a group of creative people that can use social media to grow their brands, make money, and make their dreams come true. And I also want to help mentor businesses around the world to be able to take a little bit of my experience for a fee, and I'll come in and I'll help you if that's something you need. But really, I just want people to have knowledge. Like, I'll do it for you if you want to pay me, but I want you to know and have the keys to your own success so you can do it for yourself. And I think a lot of us are failed by our school systems, and we have to go get our knowledge elsewhere. And if I can use my expertise and my experience over the past 9 years running companies to help you, that's my goal with my social media.
Definitely, bro. I definitely do agree with you, especially on the school part, man. It's like a lot of the stuff we're taught. How does that, and we say this stuff when we're in school, you know, we're in the math class, and it's like, how does quadratic equations, what is that going to do for me in my life when I'm outside and I'm trying to look for stuff to do? What am I going to do with quadratic equations? You think it's just a joke, you're banging it out with your friends, but it's like, when you come out, it's like, I spent 4 years in this institution, and the only thing I actually learned that's going to help me move forward in life is not even in the classroom. It's the relationships you built outside of it. So it's insane, man.
Absolutely. So building a network of individuals that are like-minded and want to do something on this planet more than just live day to day. That's my goal. That's it.
Amazing, brother. This has been really, really amazing. Like I said, I'm a freak myself. I love crunching the numbers, and I'm sure you are as well. What is something you wish I asked you on this one, man?
Something I wish you asked me. Honestly, I have no regrets about this interview. So the one thing that maybe we could have gone deeper in is how to make more money. But other than that, like we kind of went over it because it's all about social media and marketing yourself and networking. So I don't see very many problems with your questions today, if I'm being honest.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, brother. You know, we can always do this some other time, kind of bang some more out. And yeah, where can the people go to find out and learn more about what you do?
You can check me out at Life of Savant on any social media platform. And my name's Ethan Mortensen. You can type that into Google and you'll find me there. And I just appreciate all your guys' time.
Amazing, brother. Amazing, brother. This has been really amazing.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?